Shocking! Alex Eala just stunned world number 10 Amanda Anisimova at the $7.4 million Cincinnati Open, and the stadium absolutely erupted as the Filipino sensation pulled off another incredible victory. A 21-year-old from the Philippines who had never faced the American star before just added another top 10 scalp to her growing collection. Nobody expected it to end like this. A first-time meeting against a two-time Grand Slam finalist. A crowd that turned the Lindner Family Tennis Center into a sea of support for Eala. And a Filipina superstar proving that the Eala effect isn't just about the fans. It's about the player who keeps delivering when it matters most. The moment was set. The stage was ready. And for the first time in her career, Alex Eala was about to face a player she had never seen across the net before. Amanda Anisimova, world number 10, 9th seed in the $7.4 million Cincinnati Open. Eala had advanced to the third round after a dominant performance against Elena Gabriela Ruse, who retired at 6-3 due to a right foot injury. The match lasted just 34 minutes for the first set, with Eala winning 5 consecutive games after an initial break against her. The revenge against Ruse, who had denied Eala a US Open main draw spot in 2024, was swift and emphatic. But Anisimova was a completely different kind of challenge. The 24-year-old American is a 4-time WTA title winner, including 2 WTA 1000 titles in 2025. At the Qatar Open and China Open, she finished runner-up at both the US Open and Wimbledon last year. She became the youngest French Open semifinalist at 17 in 2019 and reached the Australian Open quarter-finals this season. And Eala had never played her, not once. Anisimova had advanced to the third round after defeating Zep Sanmez 6-2, 6-3. She knew exactly what she was walking into. When asked about facing Eala, the American couldn't hide her anticipation or her awareness of what awaited her. "I haven't played her before. She's been having such an incredible season, incredible year," Anisimova said in her post-match interview. "Very great player with a lot of fans, so I'm really looking forward to that. I know that it's probably going to be a very packed stadium. I'm sure it will be really fun." The American had already experienced the Eala effect in Toronto. She had seen the Filipino flags, heard the deafening chants, and witnessed the atmosphere that Naomi Osaka once described as more like a basketball game than a tennis match. And she was ready for it. "She has a great fan base," Anisimova acknowledged. "And it looks like it's an incredible atmosphere every time she steps out to play a match. I'm really looking forward to it. I love a packed stadium, and I love a good atmosphere. I'm sure it will be a great match, even though they will probably be rooting more for her end. But I don't mind it, and I'll try to thrive off of the energy." Eala, who had already beaten 7 top 10 players this season, was playing her second straight WTA 1000 tournament during her North American swing. She had just dominated Ruse with aggressive ball striking, attacking the Romanian second serve from about 2 feet inside the baseline and ripping forehand return winners. The sweltering 80% humidity in Ohio did nothing to slow her down, and now the top 10 hunter was about to hunt again. The match was scheduled for late Monday night Manila time. The stadium was expected to be packed, and the tennis world was about to witness something special. The match against Amanda Anisimova was more than just another victory. It was a statement, a declaration that Alex Eala had become something the tennis world had never seen before. A top 10 hunter who stalks the sports elite and refuses to stop until they fall. This wasn't her first top 10 scalp, and it wouldn't be her last. Before Cincinnati, Eala had already beaten 7 top 10 players this season alone. The list reads like a who's who of women's tennis. Madison Keys, Pegula twice, Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina twice, Jessica Pegula, 9 career victories against top 10 opponents, and the count kept climbing. The victory over Anisimova added a 10th top 10 scalp, a 10th elite player who had fallen to the Filipina sensation. But here's what made this victory even more remarkable. Anisimova was a 2-time Grand Slam finalist, a former world number 3, and a player who had won 2 WTA 1000 titles in 2025. Alone at the Qatar Open and China Open, she had reached the quarterfinals of the Australian Open this season and became the youngest French Open semifinalist at 17 in 2019 and Eala had never played her before, not once. No head-to-head, no pattern, no scouting memory. The first-time meeting was a coin flip in the dark, and Eala came out on top. The statistics from the match told the story of a player who was in complete control. Eala had dominated Ruse with aggressive ball striking, winning 71% of the points played on Ruse's first serve and 78% on the Romanian second delivery. The match lasted just 34 minutes before Ruse retired at 6-1, 3-0 due to a right foot injury. Eala had won 9 consecutive games before the contest ended prematurely following a weather interruption. But what made the victory even sweeter was what it meant for the rankings. Eala's 8th win in 9 matches since her DC Open title pushed her closer to the top 16 in the world, a position that would guarantee a protected seat at the US Open, a path that avoids top 16 players until the 4th round. It's an honor to represent my country, and I'm super grateful for all the love and recognition I'm getting, Eala beamed. The top 10 hunter had struck again, and the tennis world was watching. Even before a single ball was struck in their 3rd round match, Amanda Anisimova knew exactly what she was walking into. The American star ranked number 10 in the world and seated 9th in the $7.4M WTA Cincinnati Open had been watching the Eala effect unfold from a distance. And she had a pretty good idea of what awaited her at the Lindner Family Tennis Center. I haven't played Eala before. She's been having such an incredible season, incredible year. Very great player with a lot of fans, so I'm really looking forward to that, Anisimova said in her post-match interview after dispatching Zipanez 6-2, 6-3 in the 2nd round. The 24-year-old American, a 4-time WTA Tour titleist who reached the finals of both Wimbledon and the US Open in 2025, had already experienced the atmosphere that follows Eala wherever she goes. She had seen the viral videos. She had heard the stories. She knew that on Monday night, the stadium would be packed, not with American fans cheering for the home favorite, but with thousands of Filipino supporters waving flags and chanting the name of their hero. She has a great fan base, and it looks like an incredible atmosphere every time she steps out to play a match, Anisimova acknowledged. I'm really looking forward to it. The American star even referenced the description that Naomi Osaka, the 4-time Grand Slam champion, had famously used to characterize Eala's matches, more like a basketball game than a tennis match. It was a telling comparison, one that captured the sheer energy, noise, and passion that the Filipino community brings to the sport. I love a packed stadium, and I love a good atmosphere. I'm sure it will be a great match even though they will probably be rooting more for her end, but I don't mind it, and I'll try to thrive off of the energy, Anisimova said. The American's confidence was understandable. She had finished runner-up at both Wimbledon and the US Open last year. She had won 2 WTA 1000 titles in 2025 at the Qatar Open and China Open. She had reached the Australian Open quarterfinals this season and was playing on home soil. On paper, the matchup favored the experienced American, but Anisimova also knew that Eala had something that couldn't be quantified by rankings or titles. The Filipina had already beaten 7 top 10 players this season, a list that included Pegula twice, Elena Rybakina, Coco Gauff, and Jessica Pegula. She had just completed a revenge tour in Washington where she systematically dismantled every player who had previously defeated her. And she had a legion of fans who would turn the Lindner Family Tennis Center into a sea of Philippine flags. I know that it's probably going to be a very packed stadium. I'm sure it will be really fun, Anisimova said. The atmosphere that left Anisimova impressed even before she stepped onto the court was the same atmosphere that had stunned Toronto organizers, forced Washington to rearrange its scheduling, and prompted Cincinnati to double ticket prices. It was the atmosphere that Renee Stubbs, the former doubles world #1 and coach of Serena Williams, had described as something players had probably never played in front of before, except maybe Serena in New York, and it was about to get even louder. The match against Amanda Anisimova wasn't just another victory on Alex Eala's growing resume. It was a statement, a declaration that the Philippine sensation had officially arrived among the sport's elite. The first-time meeting had everyone talking. Eala entered the match, having just completed a dominant performance against Elena Gabriela Ruse, who retired at 6-1, 3-0 due to a right foot injury. The victory was emphatic. Eala won 71% of the points played on Ruse's first serve and 78% on the Romanian second delivery. But more importantly, It was revenge. Ruse had denied Eala a US Open main draw spot in 2024 with a 3-6, 6-1, 6-4 victory in the final qualifying round. Now the Filipina had settled the score. Now Anisimova stood in her way. The 24-year-old American, ranked number 10 in the world and seeded 9th in the $7.4 million Cincinnati Open, was a different kind of challenge entirely, a 4-time WTA Tour titleist, including to WTA 1000 titles in 2025. At the Qatar Open and China Open, she had reached the finals of both Wimbledon and the US Open in 2025. She had been a teen prodigy herself, winning the 2017 US Open girls singles title by sweeping Coco Gauff in the finals. At just 17 years old, she dethroned Simona Halep to reach the semifinals of the 2019 French Open, and Eala had never faced her before. But the Filipina had something Anisimova couldn't prepare for: a 9-win record against top 10 players entering the match. A list of victims that included Pegula twice, Elena Rybakina, Coco Gauff, and Jessica Pegula. The top 10 hunter had already proven she could beat the best, and she was about to prove it again. The statistics from the match told the story of a player who refused to be intimidated. Anisimova, despite the massive crowd support for her opponent, had vowed to thrive off the energy, but Eala had other plans. The 21-year-old Filipina controlled the match from the baseline, dictating rallies with her powerful forehand and keeping the American on the defensive. The victory was Eala's 10th career win against a top 10 opponent, a 10th elite player who had fallen to the Filipina sensation. A 10th scalp on a list that now included the sport's most feared names: Svitolina, Rybakina, Gauff, Pegula, and now Anisimova. The $7.4 million Cincinnati Open erupted. The same noise that had echoed through Toronto. The same roar that had filled the Lindner Family Tennis Center just days earlier. The same sound that had become the soundtrack to Alex Eala's remarkable summer. The crowd that wouldn't stop. The fans who refused to leave. And a Filipina sensation who had just proven that the Eala effect wasn't just about the crowd. It was about the player who kept delivering when it mattered most. I think that I was playing well. I think I felt the ball good, was really focused, and tried to keep myself in the zone, Eala had said after her Ruse victory. Now she had done it again. The top 10 hunter had struck once more, and the tennis world was stunned. And so we arrive at the question that the tennis world is asking itself, as Alex Eala celebrates her stunning victory over world number 10 Amanda Anisimova at the $7.40 million Cincinnati Open. What does this statement win mean for the US Open and for the legacy of a nation? The answer is nothing short of historic. Because what Alex Eala has accomplished this week in Cincinnati isn't just about one victory. It's about a pattern. A pattern that has been building for months across continents against the best players in the world. Let's look at the numbers. Alex Eala entered the Cincinnati Open with 9 career victories against top 10 opponents. Her list of victims reads like a who's who of women's tennis. Madison Keys, Iga Swiatek twice, Jasmine Paolini, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina twice, Alina Svitolina twice, and Jessica Pegula. A 9th win at the DC Open against world number 3 Jessica Pegula marked her first WTA Tour singles title. Now add Amanda Anisimova to that list. The 24-year-old American is a 4-time WTA title holder, including to WTA 1000 titles in 2025. At the Qatar Open and China Open, she reached the finals of both Wimbledon and the US Open in 2025. She became the youngest French Open semifinalist at 17 in 2019 and reached the Australian Open quarter-finals this season. And Eala had never played her before. A first-time meeting against a 2-time Grand Slam finalist. A player who had experienced the biggest stages in tennis, a player ranked number 10 in the world and seeded 9th in the tournament. And Eala won. The significance of this victory extends far beyond Cincinnati. Eala is now the number 20 in the world with a 7-1 North American hardcourt record entering the tournament. A stretch that includes her breakthrough WTA title at the DC Open and a round of 16 appearance at the National Bank Open in Toronto. Those results had already pushed her to a career high. World number 20 and the number 17 seed in Cincinnati. But the real prize is still to come. The US Open begins August 30th at Flushing Meadows, New York. Eala has already been chosen to feature in the Stars of the Open exhibition event on August 27th at Arthur Ashe Stadium. She's seeded 29th for the main draw. And with her Cincinnati performance, she's proven that she belongs among the sport's elite. The key number that Eala is chasing is 16. Cracking the top 16 in the world would guarantee a protected seed at the US Open, a draw that avoids top 16 players until the 4th round. This Cincinnati run, already featuring a victory over a top 10 opponent, is the perfect launching pad for that push. Eala's journey has been a testament to something bigger than tennis. In Washington, she captured the first WTA Tour singles title in Philippine history, beating the defending champion Leylah Fernandez, then the second seed Alina Svitolina, then the third seed Naomi Osaka, and finally the top seed Jessica Pegula in the final. Asterisk.